CeeDee Lamb is one of the wide receivers that I am going to be lower on this week. And fantasy managers, from a macro perspective, have to be happy with CeeDee Lamb's target share. 11 targets each of the last 2 weeks. And that was an off-season controversy. If you can look up the tweets that were sent and fired off this summer about, will CeeDee Lamb get 23% target share? He's in the 30s. He's in the 30% target shares right now. And fantasy managers have to love that macro view. But it's the micro game by game view that have to worry managers about putting CeeDee Lamb at least in that wide receiver 2 spot. He's not a wide receiver 1 right now. He's a flex consideration at best, and that's why I have him at wide receiver 30. There just aren't reasons to think Lamb will boom this week. He faces the New York Giants, and you're thinking, oh, the Giants, they'll give up a lot of points. They actually don't. And yes, they've faced the Tennessee Titans and Carolina Panthers, but they've given up the 3rd fewest fantasy points, 5th fewest receptions, 5th fewest yards to wide receivers. I mean, they've shut them down. They've played tight ball. Brian Dable is not looking to get into these massive shootouts, so they're playing conservative. And Saquon is doing Saquon things, especially week 1. Lamb would need, and this is, I think, an important perspective to take. Lamb would need between a 66th and 75th percentile score to meet his ECR this week, just to be wide receiver 20. Cooper Rush is the quarterback. As I mentioned, the bad offensive line play. The running backs aren't moving the ball very well. I mean, Tony Pollard has a couple of spike plays, but the reality is it's not consistent. From a macro view, taking a look at this matchup, like to zooming out, the Cowboys-Giants game on Monday night has the lowest over-under of the entire Thursday night to Monday slate. So this is not a game where we expect fireworks. We don't expect the teams to push each other. We've seen 11 targets from CeeDee Lamb, but they've not been fruitful. And the only way Lamb gets higher than wide receiver 30 is if he falls in the end zone. So I'm banking against that. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't want to be optimistic about CeeDee Lamb. You need to be lowering your expectations for Lamb. He's not going to be the wide receiver 1 or 2 that you drafted him to be.